All right, welcome back. And let me get you up to date. It is currently, we've gone through all this combat, Russian combat. Came down here to the old turn record phase. Now, it is now April of 42, or 42. And the weather has changed very nicely. I think when it came time for a roll, it was a roll of a 1, +1, -1, either way was still in the fair zone. So we got lucky on the weather. That's good for me. However, we do have some things to point out. Over here, this little push to cut off my supply line, it was successful. He didn't move his reserve unit, so he must be waiting for my phase to reserve up all his reserve units that he has in reserve. Did not move. All right, now I can just go over here and see what's going on in my dilemma. Instead, I was looking for a nice little offensive, but instead, that little spot there where my tweezers are, you can see his unit here extends the zone of control into that hex. I don't have a unit there. Oh yeah, because as a matter of fact, he's extending them into both of these spots, clogging up my only supply route, and pretty much rendering any forces east of that little spot out of supply. Now, I don't think it'll be too bad to get them all back in supply, but that takes down on their movement. They'll all be able to combat at regular strength, but there goes my movement. So some more guerrilla actions or supply problems by my opponent. Let's look over here too. I was going to say something else. Maybe that's about it. Other than that, I thought there was something down south here, but I think everything's still good. Down around here with the available partisans, when it came time for his partisans to have activity, he didn't have none, so no partisan activity there. My rail reduction will be put to 0, so I'll be able to move full 3 units by rail any distance, and that comes in handy sometimes. But that is up to date. You can see where I'm out of supply. There's a little spot there. I might have to rectify that situation. Now you can see here I've got a few units ready to respond. 4 if you count him down here, but then you gotta watch out for these guys. So trying to plug up the holes here on the Russian front. Be back. Alright, another quick note that I wanted to make. During his exploitation phase, he did move an armor unit that he pulled back, but with all the wet conditions and there's only his 4 movement factors there, he was only able to move from this hex to this hex. And also during his exploitation phase, he did move a little armor unit 1 hex on over, but like I said, with the wet conditions, it's 2 movement factors per hex. So that will be it. What else? His naval unit did clear the mines and went after my naval unit. I think I suffered a hit and retreated. So that is that. I got some. I still got him alive. Can still use these ports. Like I said, I have to look at the rules to make sure what the deal is with those ports. But a good supply line would have been good, if not for the 28th. Is that who that is? Yeah. 26th Army. Yep, messing me all up. But that's about it. We'll be back. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're here to talk some Russian front strategy. And the more we're playing this game, we're kind of getting deep into it now. It's getting kind of where strategies and really the idiosyncrasies of the game are really coming into play. And really, me and my partner, he made a comment. It's really turned into a real good game. I've been sitting here. I've had more time off now that it's gaming season and just looking at strategies. And I want to show you guys what's going on. First of all, next month, German player gets a whole bunch of reinforcements, so that's going to help. Another thing is I went ahead and got my replacements. I replaced all these frontline units here on their little push. Have been replaced. As a matter of fact, I haven't got 2 replacement factors left over, and so do my other allies. Noticing also my reinforcements, if I can zoom in, the number of allies that are coming in as reinforcements also, so that's going to really help me out in my strategy. Let's get on over here. Now, for as far as all these units being out of supply, it don't look to be all that bad. I'm pretty sure I can move units into it. As a matter of fact, it's my ground movement phase, and that's I'm going to show you a little bit of my thinking about what's going on here. It's all about supply. And let me show you what is up. This unit right here has got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's out of supply. So, just keeping that in mind, I'm thinking about a little push over here and cutting off his supply lines. Well, that's just it. My supply lines are bad, but his supply lines are getting even worse. So, another note. I had this little marker on this city, but actually, it's that junction right there. I captured that junction right there. And he's mostly leaning on supply from here, because everything here will be cut off. If I can make me a nice push, hit this junction and this one, this whole army here is cut off. So that's something to keep in mind. But I got to do all that and keep in mind that I got my own supply line limitations. But it's just the kind of thinking that's going on. I might abandon this push here and just try to solidify my lines. Try to get something going here with a nice fast push. Now the bad thing about it is he cut off my supply. So my movement factors are halved. So my nice little blitz for that fair weather spring move just got hammered. And another thing is I'm out of supply. I can't use my air units either. So there's the key. I'll be able to take care of this, but I can't be doing it every time. So I'm going to have to try to find some way to solidify that. But there you go. That's what we're looking at. It is my movement phase. Like I said, all these guys can still have combat. That's one good thing about being out of supply. You can still fight at full strength, but only for one turn if I don't get myself back in supply, which won't be a problem. This rail line here, be nice to solidify it again. But all my supplies coming out of here now. This has been negated. That's another thing. I was thinking about making some attacks around there. Going on the offensive, pushing it. These guys are weak. You can see it, but don't want to risk any hits on my units. You gotta go over here and look at his reinforcements. Also, here's where these got coming. So anyway, just making it a good, nice Sunday here. We're gonna kick back and look at some strategies, and I might jingle his email with some vlogs. But it's a watching football day, and I'm telling you what, after really chugging it out at the end of the marathon, what we call work, and my seasonal work, it's nice to have some time off, and we are sucking it up. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you're having fun too. All right, it is time for some more Russian Front campaign game. It is currently the combat phase of 1942, and it is just about a desperate situation. As a matter of fact, if all these units here get cut off and I lose my army, I'll capitulate until my game's over. But till then, I'm gonna fight on and see what I can do. You can see all the attacks. Here's what's going on. Units moved sideways have moved. That's the infantry that have moved to certain spots. He moved his reserve guard units out of Lublin. Let me see that. What is that again? Lublin. I guess Lublin or whatever. And move them on up here. I countered his move to protect my supply line. Other than that, I went on the offensive here. If I can just kind of move on over here and cut this army off, that'd be nice. But the key to everything, and you can see where my out of supply units have moved. They've all moved, I think, pretty much back into supply. You can see here on my combats some of the units that are out of supply, but they can still fight with full strength. They just had their movement half because their fuel source was cut off. But they still got ammo and everything, I guess. So, or for 1 month's worth of ammo. Oh, where's the key? What is the key? The key is right here. And then attack number 3. I wish I could have thrown more into it, but it's going to have to do. Now, the bad thing about it is, on all these attacks, you might have seen it, noticed it earlier when I flashed over here, is all of his air units. My units are grounded because they ain't got no fuel and he caught me on a supply, so the attacks weren't looking all that bad. They weren't all that good, but when I noticed that, I forgot that he had air units to move it pretty well. It might not be too good, so we'll see how it goes. I'll give it a desperation attacks for a couple turns, but if this army gets cut off and eliminated, it's over. So we shall see. But up north here, you can see I moved some units on up. Capture that city, getting ready for this offensive that's coming. With those units that conquered Finland. And he's got a bunch of armies out here out west or out east in Moscow, changing rail lines. But that's about it. We'll go on with the all-important combat phase here pretty soon. Trying to get all these guys back into supply, and when the smoke clears, we'll see what it's all about. But still having fun here. April, I did have a Italian fleet to come on in at Constantina, but everything down here in the Black Sea's taken up, so I won't be getting that reinforcement until maybe I have me a little offensive, a bunch of Romanian units and Hungarian units coming on. So, and his southern flank here is pretty well weak besides these guys. So if I can just hang in there, we'll be back.